Yes, what's up, guys? Welcome. The World Cup is starting tomorrow. Uh, in the United States, I've been, eager to watch this World Cup, given it's coming to a country that I currently reside in. And unfortunately, my brothers, I will not be able to watch these games because the ticket price are atrocious, my brother. So I will be watching these games from the comfort of my couch in the house with you guys. So, but what I will be able to do is give you guys my prediction, uh, some financial advice, where to put your money and where not to put your money. So we will be predicting the World Cup, you know, from the group stages to the round of 32, all the way to the finals. This is just my prediction. I don't have any inside man giving me the scores and all of that stuff. This is just the teams that I think will do well. Teams that I think will perform based on their players, their forms. There may be a little bit of bias in there because I like some players. I might just fantasize and hope they have a good tournament. But let's get straight into this video. We'll start with the Group A. We'll go all the way from Group A down to Group L, obviously. And Group A should be pretty not straightforward because I've seen a lot of other videos, and they just go, South Korea won this and that. Nah, brother, Mexico is winning this group. Simple, because they're the host nation, and they're not gonna get walked on like that, bro. Brother, you come into my house, you're not gonna beat me in my house. Mexico first, South Korea second, because I do think they have the experience. Heung-min Son, Kim Min Jae in the back. I believe there's one more player that I like. Lee Kang-in as well. Wang Hee-chan. Come on, brother. South Korea second. South Africa, I think they're good. I know they're good. But just now, on that level. So I think they come third. But I would not click the third button now because we could only select 8 third, best place teams. But yeah, Czechia, you know what? They could actually come third over South Africa, but let's not, think about it too much. Let's go to Group B. Canada, Bosnia, Qatar, Switzerland. Hey, first things first, Switzerland win this group. If you know ball, you know. Don't have to stop mentioning the players that they have. Xhaka, Bril Bolo. That brother does not perform for his club, but when he puts on the Sweets jersey, my brother, he's something else. Switzerland first, Canada comes second, Bosnia come third. But again, I would not click this because I still think they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, 8 third best place teams. That I have to pick. This group people think is easy, but my brother, I think Morocco comes first in this group. Brazil, they're a good team, but they don't play as a team. They play as individuals. Vinicius, Neymar's not gonna play. He's in the squad, but brother, he's probably gonna play with like 1 or 2 games, 3 games most. So, cause yeah, we know he's injured, brother. So he doesn't have the legs anymore. So Morocco first, excuse me. Morocco comes first. Brazil second. Let's give it to them. Scotland third. This is gonna be my first third place team. Haiti, welcome to the World Cup. I believe you guys played it before a long time ago when dinosaurs were still around. But unfortunately, you're not making it past the group stage. Adios. Group D, USA, Paraguay, Australia, Turkey. Yes, you see how I said Mexico, they're home, and then they won't let nobody beat them. Brother, Turkey comes first here. Simple. A better team than the US. Two of the, best talents in Europe, in UDs. I don't even think UDs is going to start. I'm not sure. UDs, I think, is injured. UDs and Adagula, Kokchu, Atekoglu, which is one of my favorite players. Based on financial advice, he's always turning up for me. Turkey comes first. USA second. Between Paraguay and Australia. This Paraguay team, they're South American, so South American teams are not known for scoring. They're good defensively. Well, except Brazil and Argentina, of course. But if I had to pick, I will go for Paraguay third, Australia crashes out. I'm sorry. Group E, Germany, Curacao, Ivory Coast, Ecuador. This is another team. People think Germany are just gonna go and beat everybody. No, I think Ivory Coast comes first. Ivory Coast, they have a good team. If Nicolas Pepe is cooking, everybody's eating, my brother. So, and then the likes of I don't know if they brought Kessie. Kessie has experience in the middle. Diomande, come on, brother. Germany, they have the good players. They have the names. But let's just see how it goes, bro. I still think Ivory Coast comes first. Germany second. Curacao, no. Ecuador third. This again South American teams. They're known for defending. Pacho, Incapie, Caicedo. Come on, brother. So they're just gonna go there and defend. They will just scrape third place eventually. Let's go to Group F. Group F, we have Netherlands, Japan, Sweden, Tunisia. Come on, bro. Netherlands first, Japan second. It's between these two, Japan and Sweden. But if I had to pick, Sweden barely even made the World Cup, brother. So if Isak is not firing, Gyökeres has to fire. If Gyökeres doesn't fire, Isak has to fire. And Isak this season, I'm just gonna shut my mouth and not say too much for the Liverpool fans. Brother threw a whole tantrum just to go to the Liverpool and flop. You know, so I will go for Japan to come second, Sweden third. Tunisia, good team. They're always in a World Cup performing somehow. They always get there, even over Nigeria. You should be ashamed of yourself, Nigeria. Tunisia, sorry, you're going back to home house. Group G, Belgium first, Egypt, Iran, Egypt, Marmoush and Salah, and inshallah, that's how it is. That's what it is. If we've been real, Salah is done. His legs are gone. He might still have a tournament in him, but I think it's done, bro. So now it's Marmoush. That's the only outlet that they have is Marmoush. But if you look at this Iran, look at the situation around this team. You would think they might want to prove something to the US. They might want to come here and play well and do something. If you think about it. So I will put them second and Egypt come third. Let's go to Group H. One of the easier team, not easiest. Spain first, Uruguay second, Saudi Arabia third, Cape Verde. But watching out for your fans, if you know, they're gonna be there for the fans. Group I, France, Senegal, Iraq, Norway. This is one of my favorite groups. France should, this is actually one of the teams. France is actually one of the teams where I actually do buy the hype. Olise, Dembele, who is trash for France. We know he's not the best for France. But if he wants to win the Ballon d'Or, he has to perform, and in this season is in the pole position to win it. People are gonna say Harry Kane, yeah, cool. But Dembele has won the UCL, so he has a chance. While scoring in literally all the important games for PSG, he scored in everything, even the final. So if he has, if he comes to the US and performs in this World Cup, I see him winning it. So Olise, Dembele, Mbappe, Turkey, Chouameni, Konate, who is always good for France. Saliba, brother, they have a good team, And then Senegal, Iraq, Norway. I think Norway comes second, Senegal comes third. Iraq, sorry. Group J, the second best player in the world plays for Argentina, but he will just win this group. First, Austria second, another good team that people don't talk about a lot. They have players. I don't know if this guy still plays. I'm not sure which, but he's good. They have Sabitzer, Akanji, Conrad Lima. These guys are good. And Algeria comes third. You know what? Between Algeria and Jordan, yeah, I just give it to Algeria because, they have players that I know. Players that I know. I don't know anybody from. I might know a couple from Jordan, maybe one or two, but Algeria, we just know them. So third, and that's actually all the best eight third place teams. Portugal comes first. The best player in the world plays for Portugal, and Colombia comes second. Between Congo DR and Uzbekistan, second, third, I don't really care. I will be rooting for Uzbekistan because of my boy Kusanov, and disrespect on his name is getting too much. He's good. You guys have to see he's good. He's a good player. His recovery pace. He's literally the only is he's well aside from the striker. Is it Shamarov or something? They have a striker. His name is Shamarov or something like that. Apart from the striker, he's the one everybody's gonna be looking at to carry Uzbekistan, to carry a nation, and he's a defender, brother. He's a defender, and people are gonna be looking onto him. They're gonna be looking up to him to carry the club, the country. So I'll be rooting for my boy. Group L, England comes first. They're just gonna scrape, little 1-0, 2-1 wins, and then Ghana comes second. For my third place though, I do think Ghana come third. So I'm gonna have to take out one of these third place teams here. Even Czechia, I think, I'm gonna have to take out one of these third place. Yeah, Paraguay. Sorry, I think Ghana will come third, and then Ivory Coast, Scotland. Ivory Coast takes this. Scotland are a good team, but I just believe the individual talent of Ivory Coast will just win this for them. France, Sweden, no questions. Korea, Ghana. I'm sorry, host. This is where the journey ends. Netherlands, Brazil. Brazil. This is gonna be a tough one though, but I'm just saying Brazil because you're gonna see why. Colombia, Croatia, because those guys play with a togetherness that I have not seen. They're such a good team when they play together. Spain, Austria, Spain, brother. Turkey, Algeria, two Arab countries. Turkey, Belgium, KSA, nah, Republic of Saudi Arabia. Right, is it KSA or RSA? It should be RSA, no? But Belgium goes through Morocco, Japan, Morocco, Germany, Norway. I'll tell you guys now. Norway is my dark horse for this tournament. There are my dark horse. I think they beat Germany. Mexico, Ecuador. Ecuador goes through. Just if you had to compare both teams, I believe they have this Mexico actually has I'll go with Mexico. I'll go with Mexico. England, Senegal. This is this is where my biggest shock comes in. I think Senegal beats England. Yeah, I just feel it. I feel it in my. You get what I'm saying? They beat them. Argentina, Uruguay. Argentina. As much as I'm tempted to go with Uruguay, let's be real, bro. Argentina will beat them. USA, Iran. This is the battle. This probably will start World War VII, and what I think is going to win. If this happens, if we actually get to this point in the tournament, bro, everywhere is gonna be on lockdown, my brother. Yes, and if we had to pick, if there is no VAR helping the US, if there's no referees doing their own thing, Iran will beat these guys. Iran will beat these guys. Because again, they have a lot to prove, right? With Taremi up front, they don't play luxury football, brother. The USA play luxury football. Those guys do not play luxury football. I think they beat the USA. Yes, this is my prediction. This is based off of how I feel. The teams that I think will do better. The US have a good team on paper, bro. But come on, bro. With Pochettino as your coach and those players that you have, you're not going far, brother. You know, Switzerland, Egypt, Switzerland, Portugal, Ghana, the best player in the world, the best player of all time. Ronaldo will drag Portugal to the round of 16. And those are the teams that we have. Ivory Coast, France. Let's not talk too much. Brazil, Korea. This is where another of my upset will come in. Korea will beat Brazil. I'm not gonna say too much about that. Let's just wait and see. Because if I start explaining to you guys, you're not gonna understand where I'm coming from. Korea will win this game. See, brother, they will win. Don't ask me. No, put it down in your comments below. Let's see who you think would win, and we'll see. This bracket so far is looking good. You know, Spain, Croatia, Spain. Even though I think this is gonna be a tough game. Spain wins. Turkey, Belgium. Morocco, Norway. Mexico, Senegal. You know, and Morocco, no, yeah, again, nowhere. They're my dark horse, brother. Iran, Argentina, Iran is gonna come to this, tournament to prove a point to the United States, and they're gonna do it. They're going to prove that point to the United States, and tell them they're not the goat of soccer. You know, should be football, but they're not, the best at everything. But I believe this is where the journey ends. Argentina beats them. Switzerland, Portugal, the GOAT Ronaldo bags a hat trick against these guys and sends Portugal to the quarterfinals. And then Portugal, France, and then France, Korea. Come on, let's not push this. France walk these dogs. And were they not a dog? I mean dog, like you have, he has the dog in him. That's what I mean. I don't mean they're dogs. Spain, Belgium. Another funny game, hard game. Doku will be a problem for Spain, but I just think Spain's togetherness and experience will just, take them past Belgium. Norway, Senegal. Again, Norway is my dark horse. Once you have Haaland firing, if it doesn't, you have Sola coming from the bench. They might even play both of them together. Nusa on the left, Oscar Bob on the right. Odegaard, he's he's an Arsenal player. He's trash, but let's just hope he does something for the strikers and the other guys, because he looks busy on the pitch without doing anything. So Norway goes to Argentina, Portugal. This is the battle of what do I even call it, brother? This is going to break the internet, brother. So the best player in the world versus the second best player in the world, the FIFA boy versus the man for the people. We'll go for Portugal, brother. And then Ronaldo scores in this game as well. France, Spain. France versus Spain. France versus Spain. Spain. Enough said. Spain. Portugal, Norway. Erling Haaland and Norway. This is where the journey ends. You guys have battled all the way to the semifinals. Great job. But this is where it ends. Portugal wins. Portugal versus Spain. Again, people are going to expect Spain to beat Portugal. This team, actually, I think they're carbon copy of each other. Spain does not have a great attack. They don't. I mean, striking. They have Nico Williams on the left. I'm not even gonna say too much about that, brother. He's for Atletico Bilbao. He's not. He's nowhere to be seen. He comes in some of the games and then, but he's not up there. Ferran Torres scores sometimes. Good player as well. Yamal. Let's not talk about Yamal. He's good, but that's about it. And Oyarzabal, has the experience. And then looking at Portugal as well, Leao, Ronaldo, the best player in the world. Aside from that, they don't have attack. Bruno Fernandes, yes, but the midfield between these two are, actually balanced. If you think about, I clicked by mistake, but yeah, Portugal champions. You know, you see, that's fate. That's fate telling me what it is, because I didn't even actually mean to click that, and that just happened. So if you guys like this video, listen, this is financial advice. Put your money on Portugal to win this World Cup. Go do it now. Go do it now. And I'm getting 10% off of uh that payout, because I told you so. Okay? If you like this video, like, let me know what you think in the comments as well. And I will actually be making predictions for the games. You know, I will be making predictions for the games. I think later tonight, put it out for the game tomorrow. And we do have Mexico, South Africa, South Korea, and Czechia tomorrow. So tomorrow is not June 14th, brother. What's this? How is tomorrow June 14th and Friday is June 12th? What's going on? Anyways, I know my calendar. I know my date is not 14. I know tomorrow is 11. But yeah, football, but onto something that we do not know. But yes, like this video, please comment, share to your people. Let me know what you think will win the World Cup. Let me know where you think I went wrong. Even though I don't think I went wrong, but let me know what you think. And I'll see you guys later today. Peace.